Right, okay. Right, so as this is being recorded, I'll make a start anyhow. And what I thought I would do is, if we look at the very beginning of this, I think that breeders are largely responsible for, you know, we've got some people whose puppies are sort of house trained from the start, don't we? And we have other people who really struggle. And I think a lot of it's, I mean, some will be to do with the breed and luck, but I think a lot of it's to do with the breeder. My last two puppies, well, anybody who's known me for very long will know about Pickle, my Cocker Spaniel, who's probably 10 years old and probably got still a little monster, really. He was born in gun dog kennels, and he was in a run with one other dog until he was about 12 weeks old. Now, he did his poos and his wees in this run. He, in fact, the man who bred him, the gun dog breeder, he chucked food into the run as well. So he was eating amongst his poo and wee. He did go out sometimes in a field with the other dogs, but there's absolutely no effort at all to toilet train him. So his toileting belonged indoors in the pen, in this barn, as far as he was concerned. Now, my last puppy I had, Zara, she's a Labrador. She came from a family home. There are about 5 puppies, and the family loved these puppies, and they were already showing them about going out to go to the toilet, you know, before I fetched her at 8 weeks old. And they were with the mother, they went out, they copied her. And so she was more or less trained when I got her, because the breed had put the effort in. Well, it was just a family, she got time. Now, the other man, he bred so many dogs, he hadn't really got time to toilet train them. His idea was to breed as many as possible, really, and sell them. So I have Pickle, who I picked him up at about 3 months old. He was still not properly toilet trained at 6 months old. And Zara, who at 8 weeks old was better than Pickle was at 6 months old, really because of the start in their life. So that's where with your start, everybody's starting point is different. And what tends to happen is, you know, you put a post on a group about, and then you've probably got 100 replies, or well, say 50. And they all are people saying, well, I did this and I did that and I did the other. But because every case is different, it doesn't necessarily apply to you. I mean, it gives you some good ideas maybe, but there are a few basic things which you need to get in place. Anyway, seeing as I can see you so well, Charlotte, would you tell us a little bit about, what is your dog's name? What's your puppy's name?
He's called Stanley.
Stanley. And tell us what the toilet training situation is where you are.
So I think for us, we've had him for about 2.5 weeks. So he is still we're very early on in our toilet training. But there's sort of no rhyme or reason behind what he does. Like sometimes he's absolutely fine and you know, we feel like we're getting somewhere, and then he will sort of make motions that he, you know, needs to go to the loo. So we'll take him outside. We've been keeping the back door closed, so having to let him out ourselves and making sure that we're going every sort of 45 minutes to take him out. But then there will be other times when, you know, we'll have taken him out, he's not gone. We've been out there for like 20 minutes and we're like, do you know what, he probably doesn't need to go, it's fine. We walk back in and straight away he's just gone to the loo, and we're sort of at a loss. I think like today we've had a poo inside, we've had a couple of wees, and it doesn't seem like we're trying to look out for cues, and we are watching him and sort of keeping tabs, but it doesn't seem to be any, and I think
he hasn't got the message, has he?
No, he doesn't seem to want to know. To be honest,
I think there's a few things I could think of that you could try, 1 or 2. Just tell me, when he goes outside, how do you react? Exactly what do you do?
So when we go outside, we're using the cue word busy. So I'll say busy and then hope that he might go to the loo, which sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Then we'll just wait, and then we'll try, like if he sits down, we try and make him walk around a bit so he starts sniffing, so he might go. When he does go, we're very fussy, we give him a treat, we're sort of really excited. When he goes inside, we do nothing. We literally just clear it up and ignore him.
Lovely.
So I'm trying, these are the bits of advice I've been given.
Right, so. Okay, well, let's go back to when you did exactly the right thing, walking him out, because once he knows the route, when it does twig, he'll be walking towards the door. mean, some people are putting bells on the doors. You could always do that, but not to start with. He's got to know what he's doing first. Now, the first thing I would say is he hasn't a clue what busy means. He wasn't born knowing it. Okay? So you're saying something over and over and over. He hasn't a clue what it means, and you're probably distracting him. He knows you want him to do something, and it's all this action going on. So what I would do is I would keep quiet.
Okay.
And when he actually is going, as he is in the motion of going, very quietly go, busy, busy. But if you go, busy, busy, he'll stop. You want to label the action he's already doing, because that way you're going to teach him what the word means. All right?
Yeah.
So
and maybe we're being a bit more too excited with busy. So then he's
excited with it, and he can't possibly understand what the word means. He hasn't a clue.
Yeah.
So the only way you'll get him to know what it means is to actually say the word at the same time he's doing it. But you really don't want to distract him, so keep it quiet. Now, when he's finished, I wouldn't make too major a deal of it. I would drop the food on the ground in front of him.
Okay.
So that's his reward, his food. Not a big fuss, a little bit of food. And I'll tell you why you do that. Because where you place the food will help to, the placement will help reinforce where you want him to do it, not just that you want him to do it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Those two things to start with. The other one you're saying every 45 minutes. Really, I would make it every time he wakes up, every time he's been playing, anytime he's been excited, rather than watching the clock.
Okay.
And the other thing is, if you, when he's been, you come straight in then, don't you?
Not always, and only because I think I saw something you posted before where afterwards we were initially, and now we try and do something else so that there's a bit of just, you know, it's not just go and come
doesn't
in.
Connect having gone to the toilet outside with coming straight in, just in case he stay out. All right. And the other thing, now, if what he's doing, I wouldn't stay out for ages. What I would do is limit it to 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, come in. You could then try, say, waiting half a minute and take him out again. See, he may be waiting until he's come in, thinking that he'd rather go in because he hasn't got the message. So I would say it would be better, don't wait for ages, forever. Just take him out. Basically, if he wants to go, he'll go. If he doesn't, he won't. Don't put any pressure on him. If he doesn't go, come back in again. Now, if you think he really should need to go, give it a minute or so, and then just take him out again and see what happens. Because those times when he doesn't go outside and he goes immediately when he comes in, he must want to go, but for some reason he's waited until you come in. Now, I don't know why that is, but it's not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
So just try that. All right.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Okay, thank you.
When he goes indoors, where does he go?
So he's only in our sort of kitchen and like loungy area. It's like one big long room. So he doesn't really have one spot. It could be anywhere. Although we have noticed he probably goes, even though we've not been making a fuss, he goes sort of a bit more out of sight. Yeah. So like behind, if we're sat one side of the island, for an example, he'll go and do it around the other side so we can't see him doing it.
Right.
But other times he just does it straight in front of my face.
Somebody waiting to come in. Just say that again. Sorry. Can you repeat?
Sorry. So yeah, sometimes he'll go and hide, and other times he'll just literally do it in front of us, like literally looking at us and just go. So there's no real rhyme or reason behind it.
Do you actually think he's hiding, or do you think?
I think sometimes
we had him a couple of weeks. I cannot believe he's deliberately hiding.
Yeah. Well. Who knows? Who knows?
I think he might be hiding if you'd got cross with him.
Yeah, we've tried to really not do that.
I can't believe he's hiding. I think he just probably thinks that's a nice place to go. I do think when he's inside, the smaller you make his area he can get to, the better it would be. So don't give him too, if you have something like a pen or something so you can keep him in an area which is quite near the door. And on a nice day, you could leave the door open, because if he can't get too far, he probably would choose to go out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have got a pen, so we can try using that a bit more. So
Try it. Right, now we've got a lady here who's calling us up Xperia.
It's Paula.
Oh, right. I thought that's rather funny.
I was trying on the laptop and it just wasn't going to work, so I've done it on my phone. So
that's much better. We've also got Karen. She can hear us.
Right.
She can't speak, so it's somebody else here. And I'm recording it, okay?
Yes,
right,
yes.
seeing as you are now here, what I would like to do is actually talk about real stories, and we've just gone through Charlotte's story. So would you tell us your story around, and tell us what puppy have you got, and what's the puppy's name?
We've got Meg, and she's 14 weeks on Friday. She's a Cocker Spaniel.
Right. Okay. I attract Cocker Spaniels.
Yes, they're fabulous as well.
Yes.
We're not doing too badly with the toilet training, really. I think we're getting there. We're still having accidents, and I really just wanted the reassurance that it's still, that's fine.
Well, let's do the same thing with you as we did with Charlotte.
Right.
First of all, start by telling us how you decide when to put him out.
Right. Well, to start with, it was just regularly, and then bit by bit, we've sort of started to see the signs that maybe she needs to go. The sniffing. She'll be wandering around the room sniffing. She just looks. You can see she's got a bit of a, not anxious, but okay.
Yeah.
And that's usually the good sign. And then the other times, just the usual times when she's just woken up from a sleep, or just after she's eaten. We take her out. We're now taking her for walks, so that's quite a good one. She will often.
The movement helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, here she is.
All right. Oh, here we go. Oh, look.
Oh, yes. Don't push the buttons. So I know it's just us reading the signs, but sometimes we miss them. Like at the moment, we're having the issue. Well, not having the issue. At the moment, we are both working from home, off the table, and so she's spending time between us, and then some time in the kitchen. So we've got a gate that goes across the kitchen.
Does the door to the outside go out of your kitchen?
Yes, it does. Yeah. So sometimes she will cry, and we just decide that it's a bit of a tension. She's okay, and then quite often we'll go in there, and there'll be the little puddle. So it's really us reading that a little bit better. If she's crying, and when I say crying, it's just like a whimper. It's now she's got my shoes.
Sounds like you need to respond to that whimper.
Yes.
You get to the stage where you think she's just doing it to get you into the kitchen.
Yes.
At the moment, it sounds like, right, so that's the first thing. And the second thing is, when you do go out, tell me exactly what you do.
I'm not sure whether my husband does the same thing, but I will generally go and stand in a particular spot in the garden. And that quite often is sort of the thing of, right, okay, we're here. We're not here to play. We're here for action. And sometimes I just think, no, she's too distracted. She's not really that interested. There's a ball out there, or there's a seagull out there, and she's much more interested in that.
I think that's one of the mistakes we'll probably make, is we've got all the balls in the garden.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
We've also got all her balls in the garden.
Keep forgetting to take
Right, yes.
So sometimes she'll go outside and she'll be like, oh, a ball.
Well, okay. So do you put it on cue when she goes? Do you put words to encourage?
No, it's usually just good girl, clever girl.
But that's after she's been.
Pardon?
That is after she's been.
Yes. Well, as she's going. Yes.
Okay. And do you reward her when she's been?
Not all the time. Oh, she decided to have a bit of a chew. In the beginning, we were, every single time she went, we would reward her. Now it's if she has a wee, she doesn't seem, because it is now in the beginning, she would always look at you, when she was doing, so it was like, look what I'm doing. So we would always, but now she seems to take it a bit more in her stride. If I say good girl, sometimes she won't look.
She seems to know that she's meant to go outside anyway,
yes,
doesn't she now?
yes, yeah.
One thing you could do to make it easier, probably, is to pick up all the balls.
Yes. Yeah.
Because then at least she's not going to be distracted.
Yeah.
Another thing, if you on the times you do reward her, if she's still doing peas in the house at all, I would go back to at least sometimes rewarding her for peas, but put the food on the ground.
Right.
On the ground, because then you're reinforcing where you want her to go, not just going. You're reinforcing this is where I want you to go.
Yeah.
And the other thing, like Charlotte was doing, she puts hers on cue. She says busy, that's her cue word. But what she's doing, she's saying busy, 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 busy before the puppy's even been. And of course, puppy hasn't a clue what busy means.
Yeah.
So I'm suggesting she waits until puppy's actually in the action of going and labels it with a quiet word. Like what you're doing, you're saying good girl. Now I have a sort of feeling that's a fairly universal phrase. So you're saying good girl for lots of other things as well. What I would do, if you're going to put it on cue, I would, while she's actually going, use a word, any word, like Charlotte uses busy, but actually quietly say it while she's going. Because if you do that for a couple of weeks, she then begin to associate the two, and you can go out and you can say the word when you go, come on, busy.
Yeah. And
but you need to pair it with the action before you start using it as a cue.
Yeah.
And maybe give her that last little push to actually do it.
Yes.
So what happens when she does go indoors? Where does she go?
It's usually at the bottom of the stairs.
Right. Okay, so it's in the same place.
Yeah, regularly. Apart from when she's in the kitchen. So if she is in the kitchen, then it's anywhere in the kitchen. But when if it's a situation where she's just got access to the house and we're just busy pottering about, if she goes to the bottom of the stairs, I usually know that that's what she's going to do. So it's like, quickly, outside, come on.
And presumably you use something on there to try to eliminate the smell.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know whether the stuff just isn't working or but she goes back to the same spot every single time.
Her nose is so good, I reckon these things don't work all that well. You can try white vinegar or bicarbonate of soda.
Okay.
I tried mixing the two once, and I didn't pay attention in chemistry lessons at school.
I'd be trying that as well. What are you doing?
Right, yes. Well, I think you're doing well, really.
Yeah, it does feel like we're getting there. Particularly the night time. Because she sleeps in a crate in the kitchen, and we've got a camera so that we can hear if she wakes. Yeah. And if you go down to her, during the night, let her out. She'll go straight outside, straight to her to do a wee, and then straight back inside again.
So do you do that every night?
Just if she wakes.
Oh, okay. So how do you know she's woken? Is the crate in your room?
No, it's downstairs, but we've got a camera, so we can hear her. So you hear her whine, and she doesn't have to be making very much noise for us to hear her then.
That's good, isn't it? Somebody on the group, one of the people did say, two of them said they taught their dog to use a bell.
Yes, I've heard that.
My only thing against that is that it's great to start with, but then the dog soon begins to realise that all it's got to do to get you up and get a bit of attention and be let out is to do the bell. So the bell doesn't always match. They don't always associate it with actually going to the toilet.
It's just open the door for me.
With just being let out. So I don't know. I suppose it's worth a go, isn't it? You can always stop using it.
Yeah.
It does mean as puppy's walking towards the door, it would mean just ringing the bell, which is hanging there, and maybe giving a little bit of food to the dog, opening the door and letting out, and soon associate the two things. But
yeah.
Probably you could end up by being a sort of butler, opening the door every 5 minutes. A little while ago, I had 5 dogs, and I didn't realise just how much on their beck and call I was until the back door handle broke. I'd opened it so many times it broke. I realised, oh gosh, I'm up and down for the whole lot of them all the time, Oh, that was quite a while ago. Anyway, so that's have we haven't got any more. No, we haven't. No, unfortunately we can't hear Karen, because I'm sure she would have a. Actually, Karen, if you can hear, would you like to type a little resume of what's happening with you? I can read it out. Maybe, you know, especially if it's anything a little bit different. But you know, it is the same old story, isn't it? I mean, so one of the worst things is people having to get up about 5 times in the night. Which, I think the problem is that the puppy gets into a habit of getting up at 3 every morning, and as soon as, and so then really people have to, I would say, put an alarm or their phone on vibrate or something, and if it's 3 o'clock, get up at 1:45, so that they're preempting it and no longer obeying in the night, being woken up. And then they, you know, then the puppy begins to realize that you're not taking them out on response to a bit of whining.
I suppose I've got a question on that, on the morning side. So Stanley sleeps through, we probably put him out around 11ish, and then he'll sleep through until between 5:30 and 6. But obviously in the morning he starts whining, and straight away I'll get up and go and let him out. Is that the wrong thing to do? Should I be waiting?
Well, it depends. When do you want to get up?
Later than that, if at all possible.
You could. If it's always, it's never before 5:30. Is that right?
Yeah, I think pretty much it's between half.
I stay up late, right? So sometimes it's going to bed at midnight.
Oh yeah, so it depends.
So that he sleeps longer.
Yeah, it depends. If he goes out a bit later at night, he'll last a bit longer. But it's never.
When he wakes up, is he tired? Is he sleepy after that? Does he go back to bed?
No, he's full of energy. So we'll go out, we'll do a few little training things, because he's really quite hyper, but I don't want him to get really over hyper. So we'll do a couple of training things, and then I wait, so I don't feed him straight away, because I'm trying to like elongate the time that he needs to be fed, so that I'm hoping he might sleep a bit longer, but it's not really happening. And then he'll go back to sleep at about 8.
All right. What you could try, now this is an experiment, it works sometimes and it doesn't work. If, say, he never wakes up before 5:15, try putting your alarm on for 5.
Yeah.
It might mean you've got to be prepared for a very early morning. Put it on for 5, take him out, but don't talk to him, don't play to him, don't even say good boy when he goes. You're going to be the most boring thing out, but preempt it before he wakes you and make it totally dull, and then put him back in his crate and go. And see what happens. You might find that if it's not actually, because once he's done something for long enough now, a week and a half, 2 weeks, probably a little bit of a ritual now. So he knows that what happens is he wakes you up, then he has fun, then he has breakfast. And that's like a chain of events, starting with him waking you up. Now, maybe if you wake him up, you can interrupt that chain by not doing any of the things, as I say, and put him back. It's worth a try.
Yeah, I will try that.
If it works, then it means that, okay, it can be 5 o'clock this morning, tomorrow morning, it can be 5:05 the next morning, 10 past the next, you know, and you can gradually get it
later. Yeah.
You know, sort of like that. One thing you could be doing is, if you want him to be fairly calm in the morning, instead of waiting to feed him, and just training things probably, in a way, do get him quite excited, don't they? You could sprinkle his food all over the place, his breakfast, so he has to work for it. You know, if it's a nice morning, for instance, it would take him 10, 15, 20 minutes, especially if you don't sprinkle it all at once.
Yeah, I'll try that as well.
Worth a try, because that might calm him down. So are you hoping to go back to bed or something?
Well, I just would like to not have to get up at 5:30 a.m. every morning for the rest of my life, if I'm honest. That's my aim.
This is never is the rest of your life, is it? I mean, all these things, it seems terrible at the time. Now, I've got a problem which is the opposite. I have an old dog of 15. He's lost control of his bowels, basically.
Oh, bless him.
So I can't say he's ever going to get better, but what he does it any old time, exactly where he's lying. So he has an old leather sofa, which is his. And so he'll do it and he'll be lying in it. And then added to that, he's had stomach problems. So you can imagine how nice that is. And if somebody suggested putting a nappy on him, well, I think it'd be harder to clean him than it would be
The sofa, yeah.
So, you know, I've got it the other way around. So I sleep in the same room, and I have to keep, I'm sort of awake once or twice or sometimes 3 times in the night for an old dog. We do these things because we love them, don't we?
Yeah.
I've had 5 children, and I'm fairly well programmed to, you know, babies needing, you know, having sleepless nights. Well, as nobody else here, let's see what, hang on, yes, Karen's now told us. She says, Max is very similar to Charlotte's pup, but he doesn't get up in the night. I will use your top regarding the Q word and dropping the food. Well, you know, it might work. I think all these little things might. The other last thing is that if you do come straight back in when puppy's been, and you're out with the puppy and puppy loves being out with you, it is a little bit like being punished for going. So that is one reason why quite often puppies do then go as soon as you come in. So it's either a question of hanging about for half a minute before you come in, so there is no direct connection with having finished toileting and coming in, or, as I was saying to Charlotte, maybe waiting a minute or so and then go back out again instead of standing out there for hours. You know, you're better really just to go out, hang around for just a very short moment. Okay, you don't want to go, come on then, and you can't. And I would say certainly make garden a bit of a boring place where balls are concerned. Anyway, that's quite good really. I think it's probably been about half an hour of actual work here. Is there anything else that you can think of?
No, we're just trying to put her lead on, and she's eating my husband. But that's another issue.
There's another issue. Does she eat the lead?
No, she doesn't. Once it's on and you're out, she's quite good at walking. It's just the getting it on bit. She has a bit of a go at the lead and a bit of a go at your hand. And I
would so love to clicker train her.
Right.
If you had a clicker.
Yes, we've got one.
Have you? Right. Okay. You know when you click, it means yes.
Yeah.
And you know you must always give her a bit of food afterwards.
Yep.
Don't hold the food in your hand. You either have it up somewhere high or in a pouch. Okay. Because you mustn't hold the food in your hand. All she'll do is watch the hand.
Yes.
Right. So she knows clickers. Yes. So I would suggest that your husband sits down so he's not looming over her, which is probably gets her a bit aroused. Yeah. So he sits down. He holds the lead, calls her. As she's coming in his direction, click and drop a bit of food on the floor because yes, he wants her coming in his direction. Okay, he takes hold of her collar and click again because she still hasn't put her mouth on the lead. She can't because he hasn't put it near enough yet. Now he starts putting the collar on the thing. Be ready to click if she looks at it before she actually bites it. If she does bite it, freeze and wait for the very moment she lets go, click, and get the food and feed. She'll know that she has to wait just a moment for the food. Yeah. You can teach her not to do it by showing her what you do want.
Yeah, okay.
Right, with a clicker.
Yeah.
And she'll start focusing then.
Yeah, because she already knows that when the clicker happens, she comes and she knows to get a treat. So.
Yes, that's fine, but it's very important not to hold the treat.
Yes, yes.
Like the click, and she will be happy to wait a moment while you get it.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to put a collar on or something, you don't want to be dealing with her mouth. Put the treat on the floor because while she is eating that, you can pop it on. Now, the lead on the thing. And then, you know, if she comes back for more, be ready to click either before she gets there or if she does do it, just as I say, wait, let's go and click that very moment. You have the timing has to be, well, that's nothing to do with toilet training. I mean,
no, but it's still useful.
Click for toilet. You could click, you know, like you were with Charlotte, your word busy. Now, I mean, if you wanted to use clicker for it, you would do absolutely nothing. You'd keep quiet. And while I would say, just as puppy's finishing, if you do it too soon, puppy might finish midstream or mid-poo for the food. Wait, just as it's finished, click. Now you can have some food. Because then again, you really are reinforcing exactly what you want. If it's your puppy, is Stanley clicker trained at all?
No, I haven't even looked into that yet. but that sounds like it could be quite useful, so I might start having a look.
If you did want to have a one-to-one at any stage, I'd go through everything and I could really teach you how to do clicker. I don't need to do it. Anyway, I think we say goodbye. All right, thank you for coming.
Thank you, that was really helpful.
Sorry?
That was really helpful, thank you very much.
Good. And I hope the people who manage to watch it will find it helpful as well. That's brilliant. Let's know how you get on, won't you?
We will do, thanks.
Bye-bye then.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Karen.